They won it by 5.
I love that kid.
Their 10th wire-to-wire win.
He's great, isn't he?
He is.
He's great.
And haven't trailed in the last 11 quarters. They are now 37-6. And Milwaukee's next stop is in Brooklyn to take on the Nets. Did you catch what Kyrie Irving had to say after the Nets' most recent loss to the Philadelphia 76ers?
Yeah, I saw that.
And if you didn't, you did. But if you didn't,
I did not see it.
Here's what he had to say.
Collectively, I feel like we have great pieces, but obviously it's pretty glaring that we need, one more piece or two more pieces that will complement myself, KD, DJ, GT, Spence, Karras, and, we'll see how that evolves.
What was the question that made him say that?
No, he was talking about their team and what the team needs, and he says one more piece or two more pieces to go with, and then he named those. Now, if you were not on that list of folks he named, like Jared Allen and Joe Harris, it's got to thrill you.
It's interesting that I don't think Kyrie gets the whole thing. Like, to me, this was a year about him growing up, learning to be a leader. Everybody goes back. Yeah, a bunch of guys won championship with LeBron. You didn't want to play with LeBron. You want to be a leader of your own team. They put you in a situation with a good team in Boston. You prove that you cannot be a leader of men. It was a failed experiment in Boston. Now, this year, and we talked about it at the beginning of the year, this is his chance to be a leader. And he's missed half the season. And he comes out and says stupid stuff like this. I think you got to really be concerned if you're the Brooklyn Nets going forward, because you're putting all your eggs in these two guys' basket. And if they're not going to be leaders, they're going to have two shiny pieces, but they're not going to win.
Would you take offense, Kenny, if you weren't on that list when he started rattling off names?
Well, firstly, I've been a big fan of Kyrie since he was like 13, 12.
Yeah.
He used to play in my basketball times. I was like, yo, who's that kid? And I was like, oh, I know his dad. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It was a long story. I was like, man. But I would think that what Charles has said, I don't know the purpose of the reasoning of saying that at this point when KD isn't even here. Like, it's like the purpose of it doesn't just add up. And if that's an internal feeling, to say it outwardly does offend your teammates. It does.
Yeah.
If it's an internal feeling and you say it outwardly to a media person who really doesn't care about your team wins or losses, they just want to get the great soundbite like he did, or they are doing.
And let me tell you this.
It doesn't.
We bragged about the Brooklyn Nets last year.
But and the last thing about that is when you say, to me, when you need pieces, the pieces were him and KD.
Yeah.
Like, those are the pieces. To add with those guys who got to the playoffs, that's a championship caliber team.
This season,
so that's what surprises me, and just I'm just not aware. I don't even know where it comes from, honestly, because I don't see why it comes.
It comes from their rebuilding for next year. Season's a wash, so I don't care who comes back next year. Next year, when me and KD is there, he's sending a message. I need pieces. We're gonna be ready next year. This year's a wash. Don't even worry about this next year. The guys.
So you understand it?
Yeah, I understand.
If you got Kyrie and KD, how many more pieces do you need?
A lot. You need a lot.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You got Kyrie and KD. You need a bunch of more pieces.
You need a rebounder.
They got DeAndre Jordan.
Jared Allen.
They got Jared Allen.
I'm just saying, is that something, though, Shaq, that you would say prior to All-Star break?
Would I say that? No.
But Shaq, you know what bothers me?
And when you've only played in 14 games,
Ernie,
and you're coming off, you're talking a night after you're minus 29 in the plus minus, you didn't shoot the ball well, and you got beat.
Well, Ernie, you know what bothers me? Okay, if I'm the coach, first of all, I'm going to pull him aside and say, yo, man, that ain't your job to criticize our team. We bragged the last year. We said all year, that New Jersey team plays hard every single night. Brooklyn, they really, really compete. And then you add, let's say, we don't even need KD. He's not there. We bring in Kyrie.
You're a 4 seed.
We made the playoffs without you. And for you to come in here and play half the season, then say, well, we're just not that good. We're missing some big pieces. Like, no, dude, we made the playoffs without you last year. We're bringing in an all-star player. We should be a top 4 seed easily.
They're 8th seed right now. So I think I understand what he's doing. Like, hey, we're not really that good. We need some more pieces. When I come back, when the KD come back next year.
No,
Shaq,
come on, Shaq, stop
No,
it.
I'm just saying this, but do you
listen.
you have KD and Kyrie, of course they're not going to be great this year. It's not the trade wasn't for, or the free agent signings wasn't for this year. It was for next year, knowing that KD's not playing.
Okay, so maybe he's talking about next year.
Wow, already?
Yeah.
Well,
that too.
I don't think you
I'm
should
just
be
saying.
talking about next year.
All right.
Well,
I just asked what you do.
when he
wouldn't
makes
do
KD part of that equation, then he is looking to next year.
Yeah, but I'm saying he don't have to say that right now because
No,
that team made
no
the
doubt.
playoffs last year.
Yeah,
You
that was
add-
last year, Chuck.
Yeah, I know that.
Last year.
Wait, you made the playoffs last year. You add an all-star. You don't think you should be better?
I do, but how come they're not better?
He saw. Wait,
Because
hey.
they need more pieces.
So instead of taking blame yourself after his flame out in Boston, he's throwing those other guys under the bus. That ain't cool.
All right, sensitive.
I'm not sensitive.
Tweets.
Slap the
Tweets
hell out of you.
aplenty at this late hour, matter of fact. Trey has some as well, cool and hot.
Oh,
okay.
see.
Oh, those don't look
listen,
like the same.
Oh,
You in the ice tub? Look at you, man.
That's not after the
There
game.
you
That's
go.
before the game.
That ain't you.
That-
That's
before the
you
game.
ice
Yes.
before the game?
Yes.
Yeah, that is before.
maybe
the
that
game.
might
is
maybe that
before the
might explain why your toes look like they do. You're supposed to ice them bunions down.
That is before the game. I would agree with that.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Egregious, preposterous, outrageous.
Oh, he was funny on Friends.
Chuck Kachi, 6'9".
I love it.
Yeah, Chuck Kachi, 6'9". What I be doing every day, Chuck?
Snitches.
Where he go? Where?
Still to come.
What?
Only 4 teams have had
What I be doing every
double-digit
day,
winning
Chuck?
streaks this season. Utah trying
Hookah.
to make
A house of hookah.
straight. But too much Brandon Ingram tonight.
That's nice right there.
He's playing.